Hey, this is your boy. You know, thank you for joining us for our 5th episode. You know, somebody asked me, you know, how is your channel different than what's out there? I said, well, you know, for starters, we know what we're talking about. No, I didn't say that. But we do know what we're talking about. But then I ain't gonna tell you no lie. Like the other piece is that on Bout That Smoke, we got that heat. I mean, I'm from an area of the country where you get in your car and you ride around and you listen to music as you ride. You pick the music that matches your ride, or conversely, the music that you're listening to informs your ride. You got a certain type of music that you play when the sun is going down and you about to ride across town, you know, and the person behind the boards in this instance is none other than DJ Pocket. In the words of the great Tracy Braxton, Pocket is from Baltimore, Maryland, city known for a variety of things, including a prominent role in the civil rights movement. They have a really nice African-American museum up there, known for one of the finest medical centers on the planet, if not the finest, the Johns Hopkins University Hospital System. It's also known for the TV show that we all love, The Wire. Avon Barksdale, Stringer Bell, Prop Joe, you know, Wee-Bay, you know, Clay Davis, Carcetti, you know what I'm saying? Amsterdam. You know, so my boy DJ Pocket, he comes up with that heat. I want to say thanks to him too. What we're going to do now is I think a little session that we're going to start doing where there's not going to be a whole lot of structure. We're just going to wrap a taste on one topic. We're going to call it the smoke session. I promise there's no double entendre. That's a term for the grown folks. But my partner called me the other day and he asked me, he said, listen, I keep hearing Lomachenko. I mean, what you think about this cat? And I said, well, Lomachenko's a bad boy, you know? I mean, this cat is an amazing fighter. I don't think that that's even up for debate. Vasily Lomachenko is from the Ukraine. He was a decorated amateur, winning 396 fights and losing one. That lone loss, he went back and avenged by beating that guy twice. He currently, if we're going to be frank, is held in almost mythical reverence by those that consider themselves experts. And he's worthy of the praise that he's gotten. If you see him fight on the reel, it looks like he's in the Matrix. You know, kind of the hallmarks of his style are, first of all, he can punch with either hand, but the most significant thing is his footwork sets him apart. This cat will be standing on one side of the room and immediately, in Quicksilver-like fashion, be standing in another angle and hitting your ass the whole time, and you're wondering how he got there. But if you do any research on Lomachenko, you see that he is the product of a father-son relationship, of which boxing is littered with such. Some good, mostly bad. But turns out his father-son relationship is one of the good ones. So his father, when he found out that Lomachenko wanted to start boxing, he made him go take Ukrainian folk dance class first, which he took for years. So if you know anything about dancing and dancers, outside of the gentleman's ballet, that is, if you know of classically trained dancers, they're graceful and they're masters of balance. And that's what Lomachenko has, superior balance. And his father, like most people out of the former USSR, subscribes to a very scientific and rigorous methodology of sports science. So he has been documenting down to the T since he was a child, drills in a notebook. So yeah, Lomachenko is a prodigy in the truest sense of the word. He's a prodigy in the Tiger Woods sense, in the Floyd Mayweather Jr. sense. These are guys who have been doing and honing their craft consecutively since they were 2 and 3 years old. So of course you're going to be good. And with a father like Lomachenko has, he was destined for greatness. Went on and won 2 gold medals. And now he stands at 14-0. No, I'm sorry. Oops, did I say that? 14-0? That's exactly leading into my next point. He has 14 fights, but he's 13-1. Now, see, this gets into the next point. You turn on the TV and you see Max Kellerman, who I love, the old HBO boxing team, love it. You know what I'm saying? Larry Merchant, Jim Lampley, I didn't care that much for. Max Kellerman, I liked. George Foreman, when he was on there. Emmanuel Stewart, the late great Emmanuel Stewart of Detroit. Crunk Jim. Thomas Hitman Hearns. You don't even have to talk about the Klitschko brothers. I mean, you can just stay with Hitman, all right? But Max Kellerman and Teddy Atlas are in love with Lomachenko. I think I've actually heard Max Kellerman say that Lomachenko is the greatest fighter that ever lived, or something to that effect. And I had to make sure that I had the correct drink, because I'm trying to figure out how in the hell do you, and then see, this is the next point, and now we're going to get real deep with this thing too, because see, during the time that Lomachenko began to make noise, Andre Ward was considered number 1 pound for pound. If you don't know who Andre Ward is another American Olympic gold medalist. He finished his career at light heavyweight, but he campaigned at super middle, which is 168 most of his career. Had career-defining victories all along the way. Came into the Super 6 middleweight tournament. Look that up. Super 6 middleweight tournament had all the champions and former champions at 168 in a tournament that lasted from, I want to say 09 to 11. Had your boy from Arkansas that keeps getting in trouble, Jermaine Taylor, that beat Bernard Hopkins 2 times. Had my boy from England, is it Froch or Froch? I never have understood how to say it. Had him in there. He's a bad boy. Mikkel Kessler was in there. Glenn Johnson, who beat Roy Jones for the 2nd time after Antonio Tarver knocked him out. Had a bunch of bad boys in there. Arthur Abraham. You know, it's full of super middleweights and former middleweight champs. Andre Ward came in there, beat them all. Then kept on in his career, beat Chad Dawson, who was a light heavy champ who had come down to fight Andre Ward. Andre Ward dealt with him. Then he moved up to light heavyweight because everybody was scared to fight him. Triple G, talking about you. Let's just keep it real. Triple G sitting up calling people like, Triple G is at 160 pounds, still there. Been there since I left junior high school. Calling out Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, big as my son. Calling Manny Pacquiao out 2 weight divisions lower. Andre Ward was just 1 weight division above. Didn't want to go up 1 weight division to fight Andre Ward. The excuse was Andre was too big. Andre's pricing himself out. Andre's not popular enough. Well, what that got to do with you going up to fight Andre Ward if you, this Terminator that people on the media, in the media have created? Why you didn't fight Andre Ward, bruh? But then you steady calling out Pacquiao, who came up from, I want to say, 130, maybe even lower than that. A dude that is naturally not your size. So Andre Ward goes up from 168 to light heavy, which ends at 179, and fought the baddest man in the division. Your boy Kovalev, the Crusher, beat Bernard Hopkins up as much as badly as you can say Bernard Hopkins has ever been beat up, which is he's never been truly beat up. I think I was overstating that. But Bernard Hopkins was very, very respectful of Kovalev after he lost. And if you know anything about Bernard Hopkins did 5 years in the pen. He don't give credit to nobody, you know. He gave credit to Kovalev, and Andre Ward handled him twice. So my point is, you got a guy that you're claiming is the second coming of no one, because you're saying he's the best ever, better than Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran, better than Floyd Mayweather Jr., better than Andre Ward, better than Pernell Whitaker. You know? I mean, come on, better than Aaron Pryor. Come on, man. Dude only has 14 fights. That's my other issue with him. And I want to be straight. I like Lomachenko. I love to watch Lomachenko. But we got to keep it real. You jumped over Andre Ward talking about Lomachenko is #1 pound for pound, and Andre Ward has never lost a fight. Not one. But Lomachenko has. Y'all didn't know that, did you? Lomachenko, who they claim is the second coming of Sugar Ray Robinson, has been beaten before in the professional ranks. And y'all know who he lost to? Orlando Salido. And he didn't lose recently. He lost soon as he got in the pros. Why is that important, you say? Because when you're first starting out as a pro, that's when you fight your weaker opposition. This is the opposition that transitions you from the amateur style, points-based style of boxing to some more sophisticated and dangerous styles of boxing. Okay? So this cat lost in his second fight. So what I'm trying to figure out is, regardless of how aesthetically pleasing this man is, and regardless of how new and shiny he looks, you don't just up and take somebody with 14 fights and claim that he's not only the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world, but the best ever. Man, are you serious? Listen, is Terrence Crawford walking around? Now, Terrence Crawford is at 147. Lomachenko is at 135. If Lomachenko is all that, let him go on up to 147 and win a title. like Shane Mosley did against De La Hoya, like Floyd Mayweather Jr. did. Floyd Mayweather Jr. started at 130, went all the way up to 154, beating champions along the way, which is the second issue that I have with Lomachenko. Okay, Lomachenko is supposed to be the best pound for pound, but listen, pound for pound boxing is not just based on how many wins you have. It's about the quality of your opposition. So, the ill thing about only having 14 fights is that it's not going to take me too long to read your list of competition. Starting at fight 1 for Lomachenko, we got Jose Ramirez, don't know who he is. Orlando Salido, just told you who he was. Gary Russell Jr., Gary Russell Jr. is a great fighter. Surya Tadakun, don't know who he is. Gamaye Rodriguez, Romulo Casica, Roman Martinez, Nicholas Walters, Jason Sosa, Miguel Mariaga, Guillermo Rigondeaux, who is a good fighter, two-time gold medalist from Cuba. He stunk up the joint that night. I'm still pissed off at you, Rigondeaux. I'm not even mentioning you. Jorge Linares, who's also a good fighter. Jose Pedraza, who's a pretty good fighter. Anthony Crolla. Man, look. He just fought Anthony Crolla last week. Nobody ever heard of Anthony Crolla but his mama. And Bob Arum them were spinning the fight like it was something to watch. So after the fight, Teddy Atlas, he's the best fighter in the world. But who he beat? Who did he beat? That's what I want y'all out there to ask yourselves. When you hear Max Kellerman, who I respect, going on and on about how great this cat is, Max Kellerman is right in one sense. Physically, he's great. He is an extremely skilled fighter. But he's number 1 pound for pound. And you got Terrence Crawford walking around, Errol Spence walking around. And when he was around, you need to be smacked for even putting him in the same class as Andre Ward. Andre Ward, too nice of a guy to say it. If you ever, I had the pleasure of meeting Andre Ward out in Vegas at Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s last fight. We were sitting a couple of seats down from each other. Had a chance to meet the cat. Nicest guy ever. But nice or not, the man's record was the man's record, and y'all been wanting to put this guy pound for pound. So my answer to my friend is no. Lomachenko is not the best fighter ever. Not that that's what he even asked. He wanted to know about Lomachenko. I will say this. Lomachenko is a prodigy. But Lomachenko ain't fought much of anybody, to be honest. If you are supposed to be the best fighter ever, you don't get beat by Orlando Salido. I'm sorry. No disrespect to Orlando Salido, but I think that nobody that knows about boxing would consider Orlando Salido an A-level fighter. And that's something to be considered. But ask yourself, how many A-level fighters has Andre Ward fought? And how many divisions is Lomachenko willing to move up? Don't talk to me about you the best. And you got Pacquiao and Floyd that have moved up 5 weight divisions. Come on, man. If you so great, demonstrate it. Show it to us. Not what Bob Arum says. Show it to us. And in closing, his nearest competition is Mikey Garcia. But now, Mikey Garcia lost in convincing fashion to Errol Spence. So we don't even know what Mikey has left. That's the fight I wanted to see. But see, funny how boxing is, Mikey Garcia was fighting Errol Spence. Went up 2 weight divisions to fight Errol Spence because Lomachenko's people did not want to make the Mikey Garcia fight. So my thing is this. If you don't want to make a fight with Mikey Garcia, but you're confident that your fighter is the best fighter in the world, Why didn't he make the fight? Come on now. Come on now. Bout that smoke. It's gotta be real. Now, y'all know we can't have a talk about Lomachenko and not talk about his arch nemesis, straight out of Baltimore, Gervonta Davis. Come on now. That's the fight everybody want to see. I know I do. Question is, who y'all got? If Lomachenko beats Gervonta Davis, now we can talk. Now we talking about number one pound for pound. But until then, Mr. Lomachenko, you got another hill to climb. Bout that smoke.